The Indus Valley Civilization, IVC, also known as the Harappan Civilization, was one of the world's earliest urban societies and one of the three foundational ancient civilizations, alongside Mesopotamia and ancient Egypt. It flourished as a Bronze Age culture in the northwestern regions of South Asia, primarily along the Indus River and its tributaries, including the now dry Ghaggar-Hakra-Sarasvati system. Timeline and phases. Overall span: 3300 BCE to 1300 BCE. Phases: Pre-Harappan, Early Harappan, to 600 first BCE. Formative period with early settlements, fortifications, advanced stoneworking, metallurgy, and craft specialization. Mature Harappan, to 600 first, 1900 BCE. Peak urbanization, with sophisticated cities, standardized architecture, extensive trade, and peak population, possibly 1 to 5 million people. Late Harappan, 1900 to 1300 BCE. Gradual decline, abandonment of major cities, shift to smaller villages, and regional cultural transitions. It was the largest of the ancient civilizations in area, 1 to 1.5 million square kilometers, covering modern Pakistan, northwest India, and parts of Afghanistan. Major sites: over 2,000 sites have been identified, with around 100 excavated. The 5 largest urban centers include Harappa, Punjab, Pakistan, on Ravi River. Type site: granaries, painted pottery, coffin burials, red sandstone torso. Mohenjo-Daro, Sindh, Pakistan, on Indus River. Largest and best preserved. Great bath, advanced drainage, priest-king statue. Dholavira, Gujarat, India. Sophisticated water management, reservoirs, signboards, limestone walls. UNESCO site. Rocky Garhi, Haryana, India. One of the largest. Ongoing excavations reveal early urban features. Lothal, Gujarat, India. Coastal port with dockyard. Evidence of maritime trade. Bead factory, warehouse. Other notable: Kalibangan, fire altars, Banawali, Chenhandaro, craft center. Ganwari-Wala, unexcavated. Key features and achievements: urban planning, grid pattern streets, north-south, east-west, baked brick houses, standardized sizes, multi-story buildings, no grand palaces or temples, suggesting egalitarian or centralized authority without extreme hierarchy. Sanitation and water management. World's earliest known urban drainage sewer systems cover drains, soak pits, public wells. Great bath at Mohenjo-Daro, likely ritual use. Economy and trade. Agriculture: wheat, barley, cotton, earliest known. Animal husbandry, zebu cattle, craft specialization, beads, seals, pottery, metallurgy, bronze tools. Extensive trade with Mesopotamia, with seals found there. Central Asia. Maritime links via Lothal. Artifacts and art. Thousands of steatite seals, with animals like unicorn, bull, undeciphered script, 400 symbols. Bronze dancing girl statue. Mohenjo-Daro. Terracotta figurines, mother goddess. Jewelry, weights, standardized binary system. Script and society. Undeciphered Indus script. Short inscriptions on seals. Peaceful, little evidence of warfare. Fortifications more. By 1900 BCE, people shifted eastward to Punjab, Ganges regions, leading to smaller villages and cultural changes. Transition to Vedic period. Theories for decline. No single cause. Likely combination. Climate change, aridification, weakening monsoons, drying of Sarasvati, Ghaggar-Hakra River, 2200, 1900 BCE. River shifts, floods, evidence at Mohenjo-Daro, soil exhaustion, overpopulation, or trade collapse, e.g., reduced Mesopotamian links. No strong evidence for large-scale invasion, e.g., Aryan migration theories debated. Little destruction marks. The IVC's legacy includes early urbanization in South Asia, innovations in sanitation, trade, and influence on later Indian cultures, e.g., weights, crafts. Its script remains undeciphered, and peaceful, planned nature contrasts with contemporaries. Recent finds, e.g., Thar desert sites, continue expanding knowledge. This civilization highlights remarkable ancient engineering and organization in South Asia, predating many global urban developments. The Mesopotamia civilization, often called the cradle of civilization, refers to a series of ancient societies that developed in the region between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers, modern-day Iraq, parts of Syria, Turkey, and Kuwait. This fertile alluvial plain in the northern Fertile Crescent supported early farming, cities, writing, and complex states from around 3500 BCE onward. Mesopotamia saw successive cultures and empires, rather than a single unified civilization, with innovations in agriculture, irrigation canals, law, mathematics, astronomy, literature, and urban planning. Timeline and major phases. Ubaid period, about 6500 to 3800 BCE. Pre-urban farming villages, early temples, pottery, irrigation beginnings. Uruk period, about 4000 to 3100 BCE. Emergence of first true cities, e.g. Uruk. Invention of writing, proto-cuneiform, monumental architecture. Early dynastic Sumerian period, about 2900 to 2350 BCE. City-states like Uruk, Lagash, Kish, ziggurats, royal tombs, e.g. Ur's royal cemetery with treasures. Akkadian Empire, about 2334 to 2154 BCE. First Empire, Sargon of Akkad unified Sumerian cities and beyond, to Syria, Anatolia. Semitic language influence. Neo-Sumerian, Ur-3 period, about 2112 to 24 BCE. Revival under Ur's third dynasty. Bureaucratic empire, law codes, large-scale administration. Old Babylonian period, 2000 to 1595 BCE. Amorite rise, Hammurabi of Babylon, 1792 to 1750 BCE. Famous for his law code. Middle period, 1595 to 1000 BCE. Kassite rule in Babylonia. Hurrians, Mitanni, early Assyrian growth. Neo-Assyrian Empire, 911 to 609 BCE. Peak militaristic power. Capitals at Assur, Kalhu, Nineveh, vast conquest to Egypt, Levant. Neo-Babylonian Empire, Phone, 626 to 539 BCE. Chaldean revival, Nebuchadnezzar II, rebuilt Babylon. Hanging Gardens, Ishtar Gate, fell to Persians in 539 BCE. The region transitioned to Persian, Achaemenid, then Hellenistic, Parthian, and later rule. Major cities and sites. Uruk, earliest major city, for 4000 BCE, home to Inanna Temple, early writing. Ziggurat, royal tombs with standard of mosaic, jewelry. Nippur, religious center, Enlil Temple. Lagash, Girsu, Sumerian sculptures, Gudea statues. Akkad, capital of Sargon's empire, location uncertain. Babylon, old Neo-Babylonian capital, Ishtar Gate, Ziggurat, Etemenenki, possible Tower of Babel inspiration. Nineveh, Neo-Assyrian capital, Ashurbanipal's library with Epic of Gilgamesh tablets. Assur, early Assyrian religious political center. Key features and achievements. Writing, cuneiform 2032 BCE on clay tablets. Earliest full writing system, used for administration, literature, Epic of Gilgamesh, laws, math, astronomy. Government and law. City-state kings, often priest kings. Later empires. Hammurabi's Code, 1750 BCE. Eye for an eye justice, one of the earliest written law codes. Religion, polytheistic. Anu, Enlil, Inanna, Ishtar, Marduk, Ashur, ziggurats as step temple towers linking earth, haven. Economy, irrigation agriculture, barley, dates, trade with Indus Valley, Anatolia, bronze metallurgy, cylinder seals for bureaucracy. Society, hierarchical, kings, priests, scribes, farmers, slaves. Wheel, plow, base 60 math, hours, circles, early astronomy. Art and architecture, mud brick ziggurats, palaces, reliefs, statues. Example, priest-king figures, jewelry from royal graves. Comparisons to Indus Valley civilization, both Bronze Age, 3300 to 1300 BCE overlap. River-based, Tigris-Euphrates versus Indus-Sarasvati. Mesopotamia had writing, deciphered cuneiform, and known kings, empires. Indus script undeciphered, seemingly more peaceful egalitarian. Mesopotamia featured warfare, large empires, monumental ziggurats, palaces. Indus emphasized urban planning, sanitation, standardized weights. No palaces, temples evident. Trade links existed. Indus seals in Mesopotamia. Mesopotamia's legacy includes foundational contributions to urban life, governance, science, and literature that influenced later civilizations, e.g. via Persians, Greeks. Major artifacts are in museums like the British Museum, Louvre, and Pergamon. Here are illustrative images of key Mesopotamian sites, artifacts, and reconstructions. Ancient Egypt was one of the world's most enduring and influential civilizations, often called a cradle of civilization, alongside Mesopotamia and the Indus Valley. It developed in northeastern Africa, along the Nile River, which provided fertile soil through annual floods, enabling reliable agriculture and supporting a stable, prosperous society for over 3,000 years. The civilization emerged from prehistoric settlements around 3100 BCE, unification under the first pharaohs, and lasted until 30 CE, conquest by Rome after Cleopatra VII's death. Timeline and major periods. Ancient Egyptian history is divided into periods separated by intermediate periods of instability. Pre-dynastic period, around 6000 to 3100 BCE. Early farming villages, development of hieroglyphs, unification of Upper, South, and Lower North Egypt under Narmer-Menes, 3100 BCE. Early dynastic period, dynasties 1 to 2, around 3100 to 2686 BCE. Foundation of Memphis as capital, early kingship, writing, monumental tombs. Old Kingdom, dynasties 3 to 6, around 2686 to 2181 BCE. Age of the Pyramids, centralized power, massive pyramid construction, e.g. Giza complex. Pharaohs seen as divine. First Intermediate Period, around 2181 to 2055 BCE. Fragmentation, local rulers. Middle Kingdom, dynasties 11 through 13, 2055 to 1650 BCE. Reunification, literature flourishes. Expansion into Nubia, more realistic art. Pharaohs as protectors. Second Intermediate Period, around 1650 to 1550 BCE. Hyksos, Asiatic rule in the north. New Kingdom, dynasties 1820, 1550 to 1070 BCE. Imperial height, empire to Syria, Nubia. Famous pharaohs, Hatshepsut, Akhenaten, Tutankhamun, Ramesses II. Grand temples, Karnak, Luxor, peak wealth, power. Third Intermediate Period, 6600 to 6640 BCE. Division, foreign influences, Libyans, Nubians. Late Period, 6640 to 3320 BCE. Native revival, then Persian conquest. Ptolemaic period, 3320 to 30 BCE. Greek rule under Alexander's successors. Ptolemies. Cleopatra VII. Ends with Roman annexation. Key features and achievements. The Nile River, lifeline, annual inundation, fertilized fields, barley, wheat, flax, transportation highway, symbolized life rebirth, gift of the Nile, Herodotus. Pharaohs,
divine kings, gods on earth, e.g., Horus incarnate, absolute rulers, builders, warriors, famous, Khufu, Great Pyramid, Khafre, Sphinx, Hatshepsut, female pharaoh, Akhenaten, monotheism attempt, Ramesses II, the Great, Tutankhamun, King Tut, religion and afterlife, polytheistic, Ra, sun god, Osiris, underworld, Isis, Anubis, mummification for preservation, Book of the Dead, belief in Ka, Ba, soul surviving death, writing and knowledge, hieroglyphs, sacred, hieratic demotic scripts, papyrus for records, advances in medicine, mathematics, geometry for pyramids, astronomy. Hierarchical, pharaoh, nobles, priests, scribes, artisans, farmers, slaves, agriculture-based, trade, gold, incense, timber, no coinage early on, military, new kingdom, chariots, bows, empire building. Here are iconic images from ancient Egypt, comparisons to contemporaries, like Mesopotamia, writing, cities, rivers, but more stable due to Nile, less warfare-focused than Mesopotamia, Indus, pyramids, unique, hieroglyphs, parallel, uniform, but pictorial, endured longer, 3,000 years, with remarkable cultural continuity. Ancient Egypt's legacy includes monumental architecture, sophisticated bureaucracy, and enduring symbols, pyramids, mummies, sphinx, that fascinate the world today.
Ancient Egypt and Mesopotamia, the region between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers in modern Iraq and surrounding areas, were two of the earliest and most influential civilizations, often called cradles of civilization. Both emerged around 3500 to 3000 BCE as river valley societies, developing agriculture, cities, writing, and complex institutions. They shared broad similarities due to their parallel development in the ancient Near East, but diverged significantly in geography, politics, religion, outlook, and stability. Similarities: river-based origins and agriculture. Both relied on major rivers for fertile soil via annual flooding, enabling surplus food, population growth, and urbanization. Irrigation systems supported farming, barley, wheat, and both. Polytheistic religions worshipped multiple gods tied to nature, exam, sun, fertility, rivers. Temples were central. Ziggurats in Mesopotamia, temples like Karnak in Egypt. Priests held high status. Writing systems invented early scripts for administration, literature, and records. Cuneiform on clay tablets in Mesopotamia. Hieroglyphs on papyrus or stone in Egypt. Social hierarchy, stratified societies with rulers at the top, then priests, nobles, scribes, artisans, farmers, and slaves, laborers. Scribes were elite due to literacy. Advances in knowledge, progress in mathematics, astronomy, engineering, medicine, and trade. Both had monumental architecture and art depicting rulers, gods. Trade and economy, agricultural base with craft specialization, long-distance trade, e.g. Mesopotamia traded with Egypt and Indus. Egypt imported timber, gold. Early urbanism, developed cities with planned layouts, though styles differed. Key differences: geography and environment. Mesopotamia, Between unpredictable Tigris-Euphrates rivers, violent floods, droughts, no natural barriers, open plains led to vulnerability to invasions and frequent political changes. Egypt, along predictable Nile, gentle, fertilizing floods, deserts as natural protection. Isolation fostered stability and unity. Political structure, Mesopotamia, fragmented into independent city-states. Exam, Uruk, Babylon, often warring. Later empires, Akkadian, Assyrian, Babylonian, rose and fell. Frequent conquests and changing rulers. Egypt, unified early, 900 BCE, under pharaohs as divine kings, ruling a centralized state for millennia, with remarkable continuity, despite intermediate periods of division. Religious outlook and afterlife. Mesopotamia, pessimistic view, gods capricious, cruel, harsh afterlife, gloomy underworld, focused on appeasing gods through rituals. Egypt, optimistic, gods benevolent, elaborate afterlife beliefs, mummification, Book of the Dead, eternal paradise. Pharaoh as god ensured cosmic order, Ma'at, art and architecture. Mesopotamia, mud brick ziggurats, step temples, reliefs showing warfare and conquests. Cylinder seals, art often dynamic, depicting battles, kings as warriors. Egypt, stone pyramids, temples, obelisks, sphinx. Social aspects. Mesopotamia, more rigid classes. Frequent invasions brought cultural shifts. Women had some rights, but generally subordinate. Egypt, greater social mobility, e.g., scribes could rise. Women had more legal rights, property ownership, divorce. Pharaoh's divine status reinforced hierarchy, but provided stability. Cultural unity versus diversity. Mesopotamia, region of multiple successive cultures, Sumerians, Akkadians, Babylonians, Assyrians, with evolving languages and empires. Egypt, single, continuous culture with strong continuity in language, art, and religion over 3,000 years. Here are illustrative images comparing key elements, pyramids and ziggurats, writing systems, and iconic artifacts from both civilizations. Overall comparison, Mesopotamia was more dynamic and innovative in some areas, e.g., early empires, law codes like Hammurabi's, wheel invention, but unstable due to geography and invasions. Egypt was more stable, unified, and focused on eternity, afterlife, producing enduring monuments that survive better, stone versus mud brick. Mesopotamia influenced Egypt early, e.g., artistic motifs, possible writing inspiration in the 4th millennium BCE, but influences were mostly one way. Both laid foundations for Western civilization through writing, law, science, and governance, but their contrasting environments shaped very different worldviews. Mesopotamia's harsh and changeable versus Egypt's ordered and eternal.